Everybody knows he cheated. Everybody knows he did steroids. No big secret. Thing is now, after he swore he's been clean since 2003, and we know now that he has not been clean since even last year.
How sad is that?
The Yankees actually might try to void his contract if this report comes out to be true, because MLB is investigating, and if A-Rod is suspended for PED use, the Yankees are going to try to void his contract. What do you think about that, Dave? Do you think the Yankees should be able to void that contract? I mean, it's $114 million over the next 5 years. The Yankees feel a little duped. They feel a little slighted by this.
And they should. I mean, come on. At this point, dude, it's ridiculous. And the bottom line is, you're looking at a guy who couldn't hit a beach ball last year in the playoffs if you throw it at him. Has done nothing to really help this team be successful. I will say defensively, he's still been helpful to the team. But at the plate, he's done nothing to help this team be successful since his MVP year in 2009. He's batted below I believe it's below 275 over that stretch. He hasn't had more than, I think, 30 home runs over that stretch in a year. I don't think he's broken the 100.
He's been hurt.
Oh, but that's what I mean. Like, they are literally paying this guy to spend over half a season each season, specifically since 2009, on the bench or in a rehab room. And by the way, they're still paying those doctors to help him rehab. So it's costing even more money. I was going through the notes. He has 5 years, $114 million remaining on his contract.
But the thing is if MLB doesn't suspend him for the use and their investigation comes back without any sanctions, the Yankees really don't have much of a case to avoid the contract, because A-Rod could go into court and just say, I never failed a drug test. There's no evidence, no proof. Show me the proof. And if the Yankees can't provide some kind of proof, they're going to be on the hook for it.
Yeah, and that's a rough spot, man. It really is. I actually almost feel for the Yankees. You know, I'm sort of torn on this one, because it's, on one hand, you're like, well, is it even voidable? You know, I would love to have our legal buddy join us. I know he was football, but it'd be interesting to hear him talk about, contracts and that kind of stuff. And I actually went through, an article on ESPN where they talk about pretty much the bottom line of this is that all contracts have moral clauses.
Yeah.
Now, this comes from a baseball official who handles contract negotiations. They didn't give a name. So he says all contracts have moral clauses, but it will come down to the language in Rodriguez's contract. If it is a normal moral clause, the Yankees won't have much of a case. If there are specific clauses that went into steroids and PEDs, then I doubt he would walk away with his money. AKA, it's all based on the language, the words written into the contract. Is there anything specific in there that says if you are caught for using PEDs, steroids, anything along those lines, we have the right that makes this contract null and void? There is nothing specific. Then A-Rod most likely that contract will still be his, and the Yankees will still be owing him that money. And that's where the rock and the hard spot comes, because if you're the Yankees, you obviously are going to look at this.
Yeah.
And you obviously if you have this opportunity, especially if you think about it, this would be the best of both worlds for them, because they really got the best out of A-Rod early in the contract. And they'll be getting out of the back end of the contract.
Not much.
With, I mean, what was it, a 10-year deal with incentives that could have pushed it to upwards of almost $300 million, if I remember correctly. So you're going to be giving him about 5 years he'll have done on the contract. He'll have gotten a little over half the money. But a lot of those incentives, you won't have to worry about anymore, which I don't think they're that worried about anymore anyway with the performance that he's had lately. But you don't have to worry about that. You get yourself out of that. And I know the Steinbrenners have been saying it for almost 2 years now that they really want to get their salary cap lower.
Yeah.
And this would be a great way to do it. And as a Yankee fan, this opens up a lot of possibilities for them to make moves here, there, or somewhere else, maybe this year or down the road in the near future. So let me ask you as a fan, because you are a Yankee fan. You love your Yankees. What do you want them to do? Like, say it's just a decision. It has nothing to do with the wording in a contract. It is strictly choice.
If they
we can walk away or we can keep them.
If they can void the contract, I want to see the contract voided. If they can't void the contract, I want them to keep him and pretty much demand from him that he get back on the field and do something. Say, listen, we can't get rid of you because
we really messed up with giving you this contract.
Yeah. But the thing is, not only that, but we can't get rid of you and we can't void the contract because there's no proof. But we know you did it. And if you're not going to help us and you're not going to get back on the field.
Oh, important.
No. But if you're not going to get back on the field, then why are you just going to sit here and cost money? Now, I've already explained to you that if he misses this whole season, the Yankees actually get $25 million out of an insurance policy.
For missing an entire year.
So pretty much the Yankees make money on Alex Rodriguez not playing this year.
Well, the other thing I heard
is that he could retire.
Is that the Yankees will possibly try to convince him to retire. Now that's when things get interesting. Because if they by sitting down with him and asking him to retire, if he retires, then his contract would end, which would hurt him financially, but help the Yankees. So that, to me, is where your interesting situation comes, because now all of a sudden you can almost re-bargain with Alex Rodriguez. You can sit there and say, hey, why don't you retire and you can walk away with this, or we can give you a title in the Yankees organization over the next couple of years that gets you a couple $1 million. Like, almost bribing him without bribing him, even though that's really what it would be. But
I don't think they can give him another position with the Yankees right away. I don't think they could move him to a front office job or a PR job.
But that's the thing. It's nothing but a title.
Even still, I don't think the Yankees would want to be associated with that.
So you think if they can get him gone, they want him just
gone?
You won an MVP with us. You helped us win a World Series. Outside of that, Alex Rodriguez is not the pinstripe history type of guy.